What's going on, guys? Danny here from Metal Couch, and you thought that if Septicflesh released a new track from their upcoming album, I wouldn't review it, right? Of course I'm going to review it, and today we're going to be taking a look at their song Order of Dracul from their upcoming album Titan. Now, Septicflesh is a very, very strange band with me. And by strange, I mean I've been reviewing some of their re-releases recently, and I did not give the most recent re-release that glorified review. It was a negative review, and not very many people liked it because I was being negative on what some people consider to be a cornerstone of their discography. Now, going back to their previous album, The Great Mass, which if I remember was released in 2011, the only thing that I can really remember about that album is, first off, it was fucking amazing. I still listen to that album in rotation today, and I even gave it a Album of the Year nomination and eventual win for that year. I love The Great Mass, and I know some hardcore fans may think that it's somewhat of a departure from previous material. I think that it is a masterfully crafted album, and I think it's damn near perfect, if I do say so myself. I love it. I still listen to it to this day. So naturally, when they announced that their new album was coming, and that they eventually put out an announcement saying, hey, we're finished recording it, we're going to start mixing it, it's coming out this June, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear the follow-up to The Great Mass. You know, it's similar to the reaction that people had with Machine Head's The Blackening, with the follow-up Unto the Locust. Now, I want you to remember that, because I haven't done a review on The Blackening, but I did a review on Unto the Locust. Order of Dracul, I don't know where it places in terms of the album's track listing, but already I can tell there are some changes that they took into consideration from the criticism of the previous album. But at the same time, there are some things here which I'm sitting here going, why are you doing that? Don't do that. No. And they did it. First off, this album, see, I'm already getting ahead of myself. This track sounds really, really good. I think that it has a very, very interesting direction going with it. It's a similar vein to The Great Mass. However, the guitars are too loud. Way too loud. They're louder than the drums, which is a complete opposite of what happened with the previous album. Those drums powered that album. It wasn't so much about the guitar riffs, because frankly the guitar riffs really weren't that complex in some places. It was all about the drums and the symphony in the background pushing that album towards awesomeness. This is, okay, let's turn the gain up on the guitars and turn it up in the mix, and let's drown out the drums and eventually drown out the symphony that we hired to play in the background of our songs. Order of Dracul is a very cool sounding song, but the production is turning me off, and it's making me worried that this album is going to be mixed like that. But like what I said in my Mastodon track review not too long ago, this album could still be being mixed right now. They could have just released this one song as a teaser, hurried up and got it out of there, so that way, we would have a taste of what's to come. Hopefully, they go back and they fix this in the mix, because this is not good. Also, one thing that's really distracting, and this is something that I've noticed going back through their re-releases, a common complaint that I've had about some of their early releases that they remastered and put back out is that there are random songs that just completely break the whole metal mood, and they're these weird synth-driven, drum machine-driven breaks, like 2 minutes long. This doesn't have something like that, but this has a weird harpsichord section in the middle of it with a violin solo, and it really takes me out of the song. I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad, it's just that you've got this hard-hitting metal song, and then, bam, one of the silliest instruments in existence, a harpsichord. And then you go right back into a really awesome part with a metal song, but that's something that kind of took me out of it. And I know I'm kind of rambling a bit. It's kind of hard to subjectively go through a track review by a band that you really, really enjoy. because I am trying not to be too biased. In fact, I've bashed it a lot so far. This is a good song. It reminds me a little bit of Rising from the Great Mass, which some people would consider a filler track. Which, if that's the case, then I'm completely okay with Order of Dracul. If it's a filler track, that's great. And if this is what they consider to be a filler track, I can't wait to hear what they have for the rest of this album. Now, before The Great Mass came out, they released The Vampire from Nazareth to knock our socks off, and that's exactly what it did. Vampire from Nazareth is a fucking amazing song. However, Order of Dracul is trying to do that same thing that Nazareth did, and it's not doing it. This is an okay song. I would easily give it a 7 out of 10. It's by no means The Vampire from Nazareth, but it's good. And going back to what I said earlier with Machine Head, The Blackening is a fucking amazing album. And you go into Unto the Locust and people said, well, this isn't any good, it's not The Blackening. When I reviewed that, I said, it's not The Blackening, but it's really, really good. I gave it a damn near perfect score despite how short it was. This is how I feel with Vampire from Nazareth into Order of Dracul. You have a perfect, near perfect album over here. And we may get with Titan a not near perfect album, but still a very good entry into their discography. So if I had to give the track a grade out of 10, I'd give it a 7. It's a solid 7. Definitely listen to this track. I know for some people it's either one of those things where you like it or you don't. For me, I really like it. I like music that's kind of theatrical in a sense, especially when you're involving heavy metal. 7 out of 10. I can't wait for this album to drop. You bet your ass I will be reviewing it the day that it comes out, though. I probably need to pre-order a physical copy soon. Maybe even another shirt to add to my arsenal. So, 7 out of 10 for me. Danny here from Metal Couch, signing out.